The transfer window is now closed. In terms of a Tottenham point of view, I want to discuss in today's video what I rate it out of 10, how it compares with previous transfer windows, and whether we're in a better place than we were at the start of the window. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. Let's get straight into it then. So transfer window now shut. Here are all the statistics from transfermarket.co.uk. Total spend for Tottenham, 167.8 million. That's total earned of 26.2 million. That would be through departures, club sales. Net spend is negative 141.6 million. Incomings: Kevin Danso, £21.6 million. Matthias Tell, £30 million. Costa Takai, £5 million. Mohamed Kudus, £55 million. Yao Polinia, an initial loan, and there's a £25.9 million by option, not obligation, it's an option. Xavi Simons, £51.9 million. And Rando Colomwani is a straight loan, but that loan fee is £4.3 million. Outgoings then, something Tottenham have struggled with in my opinion. Fraser Forster released. Alfie Whiteman released. Sergio Reguilon released. Josh Keeley, £1 million. Heung-min Son, £20 million. Alejo Valise loan. Ashley Phillips loan. Mikey Moore loan. Will Lancashire loan. Jamie Donnelly loan. Yamin Hook loan. Alfie Devine loan. Luka Vescovic loan. Manor Solomon loan. And Brian Gill, £5.2 million. There's only 3 players there we've actually got a fee for. That's what I mean, talking about, struggling with outgoings. But a little table here in terms of squad depth and how I kind of see it. So I see it as goalkeepers, you've got Vicario, Kinski and Austin, so that's good depth. Right back, we've got Porro and Spence. Left back, Udogie and Spence. No, let's get this right. So goalkeepers, Vicario, Kinski, Austin. Right back, Porro, Spence. Make it what you will, because Spence's position we don't know. Left back, we've got Udogie and Davis. Centre backs, you've got Van der Ven, Dragusin and Takai, and then other centre backs the other side, the right hand side, you've got Romero and Danso. Defensive midfield, you've got Basuma, Paolini and Gray at the moment, and then also the other side of defensive midfield / kind of midfield, you've got Rodrigo Bentancur and Lucas Bergvall. I would say it's more kind of general midfield. Then number 10s, you've got potentially Pat Matassar, Xavi Simons and James Maddison. Right wing, Mohamed Kudus and Dejan Kulusevski, if you've seen there. Left wing, Brennan Johnson, Wilson Odobert, Matthias Tell. And number 9 in terms of strikers, you've got Richarlison, Randall Colomwani, Solanke and Scarlett. So we've got squad depth there. So to answer the question, firstly, I think we're in a better position than we were at the start of the window. I think that we've done well at bringing the right players in, getting the recruitment right. I've got to be careful I word this right, because this is critically important. Should we have gone further? Absolutely. No doubt about it. We failed to bring in a left winger. We failed to bring in centre-back depth. We could have brought in full-back cover. Of course, you can always do more, but Rome wasn't built overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day. It wasn't built in either of them. That's just a fact. So you have to be patient, and what we've got to look at is what we've brought in is very, very good and very important. For example, getting a striker, that's an example for me of change. That's unreal depth. And the way I look at it is you've upgraded. Like for me personally anyway, I've gone from Basuma to Paulinia, just little upgrades like that. And I think bringing in a number 6 in Paulinia is so important. A creator in Xavi Simons number 10 took a long while, was absolutely worth the wait. Kudus, fantastic bit of business if you ask me. Even Dancer, I think his centre-back cover was crucial, making that permanent, which we didn't have a choice to do. Matthias Tell is a good player, adds depth, but he still needs to offer a lot more. So there's going to be another video where I go into more detail about the window and break it down. This is just give you some context about my rating. So I'm going to rate, and hear me out, Tottenham's transfer window 7 out of 10. The reason I do that is I strongly believe that this squad is in a lot better position now than it was at the start of the window. I think it's a really good window, actually. Our best in at least a few years. Our best for a little while, let's say. And we've done well, and we've recruited really well. Recruited well, brought the right players in, the right profile. I strongly believe that. We've got the business done in the end. But the reason for me it's not higher, there's a few reasons. We left the business right till the very end. We had a couple of embarrassing sagas, Eze, Gibbs White, Hincape, where we were either rejected, humiliated, or it hung up for a long time. Either way, not a good look for the club, whether it's their fault or not. That Gibbs White for me, and even maybe Eze, it might not be their fault, but it's still humiliating nonetheless for the club. We should have gone further. Of course, we should have gone faster as well, but further in particular, in terms of centre-back depth. For me, you should not be going into the season as a club that wants to finish, top 4, top 6, wants to compete in all 4 fronts anyway, and you only have 3 fit centre-backs. That isn't acceptable in any world when you've got Arsenal and other clubs like that having 7 or 8. That's what it should be. That's unreal centre-back depth. That's the levels. You can't close the gap. We can't win the Premier League and Champions League that Levy wants to if you go into it with 3 fit centre-backs. But the big one for me is we failed to replace Heung-min Son. We had an awfully long time to do that. Left wing, I think, was a big priority position we failed to meet. We covered lots of areas. So that's another reason. And although we let business late, I'm not going to let that affect the rating too much, because I don't know about you guys, but I'd rather wait longer and bring in the right player. As I think we dodged a bullet in terms of class player, but wanted Arsenal, wouldn't have been right for the dressing room. But I was worried the club would panic by the longer the window went on, but it actually found out it looks like it took them longer to bring in the right player. And you don't care. I want the player that's right for Frank, most importantly. I want the player that he wants, that's right for the system, right for the dressing room. It's got to be right. I'd rather not sign anyone if the player's not right. Signing Ndombele, we're better not even signing anybody, I'd argue. So people moaning it takes long, but much better than getting it wrong. People would moan if we signed Ndombele and got it done on the first day of the transfer window. I think it's because we got Kudus in quite early and the rest of the window is quite staggered, but we know that Tottenham leave business late. So I think it's a really positive window, and the objective of any transfer window is to improve, to come out the other side when it closes in a better position than you started it, and Tottenham have done that. It's a good window. I would just argue, being a bit pessimistic, that if you finish 17th in the Premier League the season before, you should be doing more to avoid a repeat. I'd also argue if you win your trophy, you should push on from that. So we've done well, we've improved, and we've actually improved the first team a lot. Paulinho improves the first team. Xavi Simons improves the first team as well. Kudus improves the first team. I'd argue 3 players that we've signed improve the first 11. Not many clubs do that in a transfer window. Tottenham certainly don't do that. And to sign a big name like Xavi Simons on a permanent deal, you could argue either before or let's say during his prime, from a top club, he's a top player as well, is something Tottenham don't do. So there's signs of potential things changing. So the money's always been spent with Tottenham, but it's usually not been spent in the right areas. This window, in my opinion, the money was spent incredibly wisely. Maybe by Mattis tell, we don't know yet. I'm not going to jump to conclusions on that. But the outgoings hang over the window again. We really struggle with outgoings. You're thinking, hang on, Harry, you would have so many players that Tottenham got rid of, more than they brought in. That's true, but how many times did I say released, which means, nothing we got for, or loans? We've done well with the loans. This isn't included in that. In terms of fee, only 3 players got a fee in for. The big one being Son Gill just about the end. That was a good deal, to be fair. And then Keeley, you only got £1 million for. But at the moment, we've struggled. But I don't think that can be too harsh on that, because we've always struggled with outgoings. But money's actually been spent right. But that's the big thing. At 7th, even probably harsh, because the recruitment's been so good from Tottenham. When can you say that? So I'd lean towards a 7, 7.5 probably out of 10. I think would be fair. What would you rate it out of 10 in the comments below? I think Tottenham done well. Great, but not perfect is the way that I've described it. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. Get involved in the comments below. You may agree with me, you may disagree with me. Whatever your opinion, I'll engage with you in the comments. Very interested to get your thoughts. But for now, a massive come on, you Spurs.